guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lena. So I got my wisdom tooth taken out yesterday, so if I'm acting uninterested or if I don't have any enthusiasm, that is why. But I really wanted to talk to you guys about this crime story. I'm going to tell you guys about Ariel Castro and his kidnappings. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Background on Ariel Castro. He was born in Puerto Rico. Him and his family moved to Cleveland, Ohio when he was a child. That's pretty much where he grew up. He bought himself a house in 1992 where he was really appreciated by everybody. Everybody loved him. He was in a musical band. He loved music, was good at playing instruments, loved children. He was actually a school bus driver, fun fact. Everyone just loved him, but no one knew about his dark side. No one really knows why he did what he did, but it happened right after or shortly after he lost custody of his children and his wife. I couldn't really figure out why his wife left him and got custody. All I could find was that she had complaints about him, so maybe he abused her, cheated on her. Basically, he lost his entire family, and after that, he just snapped. One day, 21-year-old Michelle Knight went missing. She was last seen August 2002 at her cousin's house. She was said to have a mental disorder that made her very confused about where she was, I guess, and what she would be doing at the time. She also had an extremely rough life. She was raped at school, gave birth, and then her child was taken into custody. After all of that, then she gets kidnapped, but the whole town just wrote it off as a runaway, oh, she's, in her early 20s, and she's probably just got mad about her home life and left the town. The second kidnapping happened in 2004. A young lady by the name of Gina Dejesus. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she was Hispanic also, and she was actually a friend of Ariel Castro's daughter. So obviously, as you can imagine, she really trusted this man. Little Gina Dejesus was just walking home from school, just a regular day. Ariel Castro drives by and's like, hey, you need a ride? And she's like, oh, that's my best friend's dad, why not? But she never makes it home. Her disappearing was huge. She was 14 years old. She had a big loving family, all over the news, bunch of press about it. It was huge. 4 years later, April 2008, a young girl by the name of Amanda Berry went missing. Get this. She was turning 17 the next day. So she's happy, she's excited, she's about to have a birthday tomorrow. Never makes it home. Ariel Castro's bitch ass pulls up, right? She's leaving Burger King. It was her job at the time. And he's like, hey, you need a ride? Cutting up. Oh, my son works there with you, so it's fine. Get in my car. She gets in the car and she realizes, where are we going? We're not going to my house. Where are you taking me? And she's gone. Her missing report was directly connected to Gina's because they happened 4 years apart and around the same time, around the same area, so it was very suspicious. Ariel Castro mentally, physically, and sexually abused all three of the women. He locked them in the basement, then he ended up locking them in all separate rooms. When one of the girls would get in trouble, the other two would help the other girl out. Castro's way of punishing them would be to starve them. That was one of the ways he punished them. So if one girl did something that Ariel Castro disliked, he would be like, okay, well, you're going to starve then. And the other two girls would sneak the other girl food. So they really did form a really close, bond with each other. Another horrific thing Castro would do to these women would be to impregnate them and then beat them and starve them so they could no longer carry the child and they would have a miscarriage. He specifically did this with Michelle the most. He would have sex with her without her will, impregnate her, and then force her to miscarry. He would beat her, starve her for weeks. On the other hand, he would do the same thing to Amanda, but Amanda ended up actually having her child. The terrible thing about it is that he made Michelle deliver Amanda's baby with a gun to her head stating, if you do not deliver this baby, a healthy baby, I'm going to kill you. First of all, Michelle is not a fucking doctor, a nurse, a midwife, a doula, whatever you want to call it. She was none of that. She had a fucking mental problem, okay? She probably has really high anxiety, and she's over here like, oh my god, baby, please be alive. Like, please, please, please. He ended up making her give the baby mouth to mouth so he could, like, reassure that the baby was alive. I'm pretty sure it was all a fucking sick game. He knew that the baby was fine. He just made her do that because he knows that he made her miscarry, so it was like a slap in her face. Like, here you go, deliver your best friend's baby. You can never have children. Like, it's so disturbing, so disgusting. Like, I don't even have the words. After the disappearing of Gina, like I said, she had a lot of family, a lot of support back home. They ended up having a visual for her, a candlelight visual, and guess what? The motherfucker was at the motherfucking visuals. Yes, Castro, the guy who kidnapped Gina, was at her visuals. Like, bitch. And the worst, he didn't just show up. He didn't just show up in the background. No. He had a candle. He lit the candle. He led the prayer. The whole time, Gina was in his basement. Ugh. Imagine, like, this guy who has your daughter, but you don't know. But he's sitting there pretending, like, oh my god, I care so much. I'm so sorry. There were letters found in the house of Ariel Castro, basically like diary entries of him saying that he was one way in private and another way out in public, and everyone just thought of him as some kind of king and amazing person, but really he was not a nice guy. He was evil, and he admitted it to himself. And then he went on to say how these girls were stupid and they should have never gotten into a car with someone who they didn't know, a complete and total stranger. So he tried to downplay everything. I mean, he wasn't a complete, total stranger to these ladies. You made them feel comfortable enough to get in your fucking car, and you want to sit here and say, oh, I'm a complete stranger. They should have never trusted me. One day, the daughter of Amanda and Castro noticed that the door was unlocked, and she was like, Mommy, Daddy went somewhere. I don't know where this dude went. I don't really give a fuck, but he went somewhere. And Amanda was like, oh my god, like, she was thinking, this is my chance to escape. She got out of her room, which was unlocked, and then she made her way downstairs. The door was unlocked, but the screen door wasn't, so she still couldn't get out. So she started freaking out. She started banging on the door. She made a lot of ruckus. Two of the neighbors went over there to help her get out. She ended up getting out. She went over to the neighbor's house, called 911, and the 911 call, you guys, is chilling.
Ambulance. I need police. Okay, and what's going on there? I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years, and I'm here. I'm free now. Okay, and what's your address? 2207 Seymour Avenue. 2207 Seymour. Looks like you're calling me from 2210. Looks like you're calling me from 2210. I can't hear you. It looks like you were calling me from 2210 Seymour. Yeah, I'm across the street. I'm using the phone. Okay, stay there with those neighbors. Talk to the police when they get there. Okay. Okay, talk to the police when they get there. Okay. Hello? Yeah, talk to the police when they get there. Okay, I'm on the way right now. We're going to send them as soon as we get a car open. No, I need them now before we get back. All right, we're sending them, okay? Okay, I mean, like, who's the guy who went out? His name is Ariel Castro.
I've never called 911 before. I don't know how it's supposed to sound, but all I know is that person was just rude. So she calls 911. She's freaking out. She really don't know what to say. She's just like, I'm Amanda Berry. I've been missing. I've been on TV. And then they're like, okay, like, where are you? Like, I don't know. They just talk to her so rude. Ugh. They show up. They bust in the house. The police officer called the station back and was like, we found them. We found them. So hooray, the girls are found. Now what? When you have been captured, abused, tortured for a little over a decade, and then you are suddenly released into the world, you don't know what the world is. The last time you saw the outside world was when you were a child. These women are grown, okay? It's just really sad It's more than sad, it's sickening. And just to think, like, what am I supposed to do? What does a normal relationship look like for me? What does a job look like for me? What does living on my own look like for me? I would be terrified. I can't imagine the therapy and the time and effort and prayer that these women had to go through, take in, endure to even feel normal again. They lost their whole entire childhood because of this man. So on his court date, he got 3 counts of rape, 4 counts of abduction, and he was riding on the death penalty, and he was in solitary confinement. So he was like in a 9x8 cell, really, really small, and everyone said he was depressed, and he would write things and talk about killing himself and just all this bullshit ass stuff that, like, nobody gives a fuck about. Like, we do not give a fuck if you're depressed. I do think that he ended up killing himself, or just dying in his cell. He's no longer alive. That's, what the fuck? He's no longer on Earth. These girls went missing in their hometown and were in their neighbor's basement, basically. I mean, this guy, he was loved by everyone, like I said. Everyone knew him. Everyone wanted to be him. Everybody wanted to be around him. And he had these children in his basement. And nobody knew. Obviously, there was, like, suspicious things happening where the neighbors were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he'd be up late at night staring out of his window, staring at people next door. Or he had a friend come over occasionally, and he would hear noises, but Ariel just said, hey, it's my dogs that I keep in the other room, and they're just making noise. Dogs? Really? It's your dogs? This man was a fucking psycho. Extreme issues. I don't even know. I'm not even a psychologist, so I don't even know what the fuck it is. And I don't even know why he did it, because his life growing up as a child, not bad. I mean, yeah, he lost his children and his wife for reasons I don't know. Maybe he sexually abused them. Maybe he cheated on his wife. I don't know. But this man was freaking crazy, and he ruined lives, and their childhood, they'll never get it back. They are better now, I guess. Like, how do you even say, oh, they're in a good space now? Like, compared to what? They never had time to even have a childhood. Like, they never had time to grow up normally or go to school or any of that. You never know what's going on in your neighborhood. You never know what's going on next door. It could be a beautiful house. It could be a beautiful man, a beautiful woman, and they're doing disgusting shit that you don't know about. So really, you cannot trust people. You don't know what a killer looks like. I went off on a tangent. I'm back now to reality. Back to life. Back to reality. Just kidding. It hurts to smile. That is the story of Ariel Castro and the Cleveland, Ohio kidnappings. I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more. I promise I will be more enthusiastic when the shit heals up, okay?